Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. We are coming to you live on tape.
Sort of live.
From the Recycle Garage.
We're not quite dead yet.
In sunny
Don't
Santa
want to go
Cruz,
on the court.
California. Hey everyone, this is Liza, and I've got big news.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You
goodness.
did a thing.
Oh.
Ooh.
But let's get to who is here with me first. In the very special seat with the nicest microphone in the room,
I do.
it's Stumpy John.
Heidi-ho, nerds. What's going on? I'm here. Back again.
You're back.
Back like a butt crack.
And across the room, in his usual seat, it's Neal.
Hey there, moto people. I'm on microphone number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. And Bagel will be joining us very soon. He'll sneak in. But joining us, we have Stunt Misfits, Chris and Michelle.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, it looks like you're at your lovely ranch or lake house. What are we seeing in the background?
No, that is Arizona 191 from the Hookah.
Oh, so lies. It's built on lies, is what you're saying.
It's either that or my messy, destroyed office that I haven't finished setting up yet because I'm moving.
And I've never been there, so yeah.
Nice.
I
Well,
think I have. I'd have to look at our trip itineraries from the past, but I think I've actually been on that highway before.
all right.
It used to be 666, but everybody
Yeah.
stole this line, so.
That's right. The devil made them do it.
Yes.
Womp womp.
Before we get to my big announcement, I want to start with some smaller announcements, but they're still big. Events, happenings, things,
Time.
exciting things I want to tell everyone about. First up, coming up next month, November 8th. It's a Saturday. We are holding an event at the SFMC, the San Francisco Motorcycle Club, which in itself is cool. If anyone is in Northern California, you want to come out on Saturday, the November 8th. SFMC, if you didn't know, is the second oldest motorcycle club in the country. And their clubhouse. Neal, have you been there yet?
No.
Oh, that's cool. It's like an old vets hall or something. They've had this property for a long time. They've got a bar and a pool table.
This is
and,
in San Francisco?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Chairs, tables, a little stage. And then it's all like wood paneling, and then a walls of trophies and pictures from 115 years of motorcycle club. Oh, Bagel's joined us. Hey, Bagel.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good. So yeah, I was just saying, November 8th, we are having an event at the SFMC.
So where is it actually? And what's the address? What
Oh,
part of
in
town?
the Mission.
Okay.
It's on Mission. Yeah, you can look up SFMC. But Louisa Swaden, the Stoic writer, is coming back, and she wanted to do like a presentation and a book signing event. Remember we did that? We did that for Elsbeth Beard here in the carport tent. I'm like, I think we can do better. So we're doing it up at the SFMC Club with this great history. And we're going to take every lick of gear and luggage we have here in the garage and take it up and do a free gear exchange. Take some, bring some, whatever you got. I just thought it'd be good to really swap it out. And cooking hot dogs and just having a good time. But that'll be 12 to 4, November 8th.
Mhm.
So come out, meet Louisa, get some gear, have a hot dog, and check out the history. There's also, have you been there, John?
To where?
The SFMC?
No, I haven't.
A Curtis motorcycle that was gifted by one of the members like decades and decades ago
cool.
that hangs over the bar, just hanging from the ceiling. It's
From
worth
the year that the club was founded, I believe.
it's worth six figures.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it still is just a
mid six figures.
decoration above the bar.
Yeah. Those were like 4 valve heads, I think, on those things.
Yeah. Really, really
Really?
cool.
Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
They were really advanced for their time and very fast.
And then the next thing, Bagel, you're
Yes.
going to be jealous of the next thing
Oh, yeah?
we're doing. The next day on Sunday, November 9th. I'm just saying, Bagel,
Mhm.
you might want to come down
Hmm.
because we're got a 2 for a weekend.
Oh, yeah?
We are doing Verge motorcycle test rides from our garage.
And Verge Motorcycle is
a new electric brand.
really.
But here's the thing, and this is, there's been so many new electric brands that I've kind of been just kind of glossing over because a lot of them are not necessarily pushing the envelope of electric motorcycles, are just taking parts off the shelf, bringing out leather straps and, cool tank or, whatever, making something that looks cool, but are just these smaller $7,000-$8,000 bikes. No, these bikes, the Verge motorcycles, they're contenders with Energica and Zero. They're real bikes with pretty good, I think a 200 or 180 mile range or something. Big batteries. And Bagel, you might want to Google Verge motorcycles, a hubless rear wheel.
What's their top speed rated at?
I don't know.
5 million.
It depends on what their limiter's set at, but it's a contender. I think. Here's the thing: we don't have a lot of specs because they're unveiling the new models and new specs at EICMA the weekend before that. So all we have right now are the current specs, but it's all going to change. So November 9th, they're bringing bikes to us. They're going to be here all day at the garage so people can do test rides, and then they're staying for the podcast so we can talk about Verge motorcycles.
Very cool.
That should be pretty stoking.
Yeah.
I might have to see what I could do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Well, I guess I can get to the announcement.
Wait, we got one more. January.
Oh.
King of the Moto, Desert Hair 2026 will be roundabout January 23rd to 25th, which is going to coincide with the King of the Motos gathering down in Johnson Valley. So mark your calendars. Anybody wants to come and do desert stuff with Jim and I and Craig and a bunch of other people, bring yourself, bring firewood, bring your motorcycle, and let's go ride and watch the King of the Motos race.
Okay, then.
Okay.
So just circle back very briefly.
Yeah.
So San Francisco Motorcycle Club is at 2194 Folsom Street.
Oh, Folsom is in the Mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just like 4 or 5 blocks south of 101.
Yeah.
So
it's a centrally located. But yeah, those are two things I've been kind of throwing together. It's going to be fun.
Now, didn't I hear that Zero's moving to Europe?
To the Netherlands, I think you said.
Yes. But
they're going Dutch.
Not all of them.
They're keeping a presence here, right?
The R&D, that kind of stuff is staying here.
Okay.
Yeah, the engineers are staying here. I think the management. And it makes sense. I was talking to some of the Zero guys yesterday, and they're like, I said, well, I know you're not allowed to say a lot, so let me just say it for you. Here's what I assume. The U.S., I feel, is kind of maxed out on the EV growth, and they're not investing in infrastructure, and the government's not offering incentives anymore, and it's just kind of... There's not a lot of room to expand here, which is why they went back to their roots with the non-street legal little dirt bike things, the one that's like a Suron. But over in Europe, they have been investing, and it has been growing a lot. So it makes sense to go invest over there. And they've had offices over there the whole time. They're just moving their management over there. So
makes one wonder what's going to be happening with Stark down the road. With their dirt bike market.
Not sure. Well, yeah, I'm not sure. And the Verge motorcycles are from a European country that are being imported over here. But enough about that. I have an announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
Prepare ye horns of glee. I bought a new bike.
Oh, yeah?
It's a great fanfare.
I know. It's probably not a shocker, but
You got a Hayabusa, right?
No.
Stretch one.
I got my iBikes 450.
You've been talking about it forever.
Cool.
I have. So here's the deal. Here's how it played out. And then I was talking about last week how I I was struggling with the prices at dealerships. And across the country, it's all over the place based upon what their cost of living is, what their insurance costs, their, rent, all the things. But out here in California, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Property is expensive, cost of living, insurance. So, yeah, as I said last week when I called the place closest to us, a dealer in San Francisco, and a bike that lists at $64.99 to be out the door at $9,500, that's like 30% added on. And I can't help but feel that I'm getting screwed, but I don't want to say I'm getting screwed by the dealership.
Or is it just their...
Look, I don't want to say I'm getting screwed by the dealership. I feel like I'm getting screwed by the system.
Mm-hmm.
And just for all the reasons I listed, that I know they have higher costs to operate here. And I know insurance is driving a lot of those up. And the brand buy-ins are all the things. But it just didn't sit well with me. I found one used bike down in Southern California listed for $7,800 with like 126 miles or something on it, $7,800. But if I was to go buy that, I still have to pay taxes on the transaction at the DMV, which is still going to be getting me up into the 8,000s.
Right.
And there's the dealership.
Well, almost like $800.
Yeah.
So that literally gets you
in the mid 8,000s.
Yeah.
So there was the dealership down in LA that had the bike marked down $1,000, but still the price was up to I think they quoted me like 82. So
out the door?
Out the door.
Yeah.
Out the door. So I'm like, well, it's still better than what it would be like 83 once I buy it and register this other one.
Right.
But I thought, you know what? It's still, this is because the person who's selling it used for $7,800 is trying to
recoup their cost.
Recoup their nut.
Yeah.
So
their sunk cost.
So I reached out to the dealership in LA and I said, you know what? Why not? I said, hey, tell you what, I'd be interested at $7,500 out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on them.
Yep.
They got back to me. Best we can do is $77.26.
Wow.
I thought about it. I got back to them, holding firm at 75. Because I still needed to get myself down there.
Right.
That means a plane ticket. That means gas. Still it's going to be a few $100s to get it here. And they came back with $77.26 firm and a $100 gift card to their shop.
Okay.
So now I'm like, all right, down to like 76. I'm like, I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
Nice. So did you drive down with a trailer or you?
So I had a call. I was looking at, I could fly. They're actually not far from LAX.
Okay.
I could have easily have flied down and then ridden it right back. But getting from here to the airport is a $100 Uber.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's a couple hours flying, dealing with luggage.
Right.
Because I got to put all my gear in the bag and then I got to strap the bag on. Then I got to ride back and I had a cold. So I just got up in the morning and hopped in my car with the trailer and drove down there. I was down there by like noon.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, 6-hour drive. And listen to podcasts, listen to Cleveland Moto.
Yeah.
They keep me entertained. And fortunately, boy, their podcasts have gotten long.
Yeah, they have.
They can get
really
there,
are.
yeah.
Hey, but it worked out. Got down there. They were very nice. They have the new. So I was looking at the 390 Adventure.
Right.
They have the 390 Enduro.
Yeah, I saw that was coming out.
Ooh.
Did you sit on it?
I did check that out. That was pretty cool.
It looks interesting.
And they had some electric bikes that were pretty cool. I was looking at too.
Yeah, I've been kind of checking out the 390 as a
390 looked very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's made in India by Bajaj, right? Or no, that's different manufacturer. Sorry. It's made by CF Moto.
Yeah.
I don't know if CF Moto makes a 390.
Yeah.
That's the thing. you get the Chinese brands making stuff. CF Moto makes the 790 for
Yes.
for KTM.
Right.
Anywho,
Didn't they do away with that?
no,
I thought they did, and they just went to the 890.
no, I don't think so. Anyway, so I'm like had this $100 gift card, so I'm walking around looking at stuff, and I ended up getting an oil change kit for my Niken and a shirt. Just like things I can use. Loaded the bike up, got in, drove right back home. 6 hours back home, and
So I noticed it was dirty.
yeah. So, but I want to tell you something that was really exciting for me. So Friday, I got to take it out for a ride. Many of you know, I still have my knees are still just not great, and I have yet to be able to stand up on a motorcycle to ride dirt bike style. And as somebody who is a dirt bike instructor, I need to be able to do this. And so I just took it for a little break-in ride to go up 9 up into the Redwoods. Chris and Michelle, it's just a nice little twisty road up through the Redwoods. It's just 5 minutes from here. And I got, I just got this like crazy idea, and I just tried, and I found the tank is high enough. I could kind of put my stomach on the tank, pop my ass up in there, pop up. Next thing I know, I am standing on the bike. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Now I'm up, and I'm like, okay, let's try out the knees. They felt okay. I locked them into the tank, got into the position, and I started skiing. You guys ever ride like that? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're weighting the pegs.
You're weighting the pegs. Yeah. You're doing like a slalom motion through these turns, and it felt good.
That's great.
Nice.
That bike's so light feeling.
It felt so good. And my legs started burning, and I didn't stop because I was doing it. And it's been so long. Wow. And I finally, I got up to a turnaround. I'm like, I pulled off, let my legs stop burning. Started coming down, popped up, skied all the way down.
That's great.
And just had one of those like, fuck yeah rides. You know what I mean?
So you were feeling good in your body with the bike, and all the things were happening.
All the things aligned.
So you got the feelies?
I mean, it was more about my legs. The bike just was there with me. But just felt good. But yeah, it's dirty because the next day, Saturday, was the 50th anniversary celebration of Hollister Hills. Mm-hmm. As you guys know, It's the first off-road park in California. And they were doing a thing, so I went out there. It was free entry. And I thought, what better bike to take out than the Ibex?
People stop and talk to you about it?
A couple of people, yeah.
Yeah.
But they had booths up. They had an event going. I went and hung out with Donovan from Big Sur Motorcycle Adventures. Mm-hmm. He was there with his crew cooking up bratwurst. Thanks for feeding me, Donovan, and telling people about his trips. And then Clay from First Rides, he was there. Chatted with him a bit. Went over, talked to the Motion Pro guy, saw a bunch of new cools. We got to get them on. Dude, some of these tools were so cool. Just chatted with different people about different things, had a good time, had a full belly, and I thought, well, time to test it out on the dirt. It's
a little dry over there.
It's a little dry right now. We haven't had rain in a while. So I went up Harmony Gate. It's a little track that we do all the time, is like a warm-up track. It's pretty straight. It's got its turns, its dips, its dives, its little banks, but pretty much just follows like a little creek bed and goes into this valley.
Were you launching it off some of those rollers?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
No. I was just taking it easy. But it was sandy.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I love good dirt. I hate the sand. And after every one of those like little whoops, it was just a sand pit. Because that's usually where people spin their tires when they land.
Yeah.
And I would just hit it, and the front's going like, won't. And I'm like, I don't like this. I hate it.
Yeah.
Just got to stay on the gas.
I know, but I haven't put any of the guards on the bike yet. I have all that coming. I've got upper guards, lower guards, bash plate, wet dry bags, and the side mounts. So I've got all the things to protect it if it goes down coming, but none yet. So I was just taking it easy. But it was really just dry and sandy, and I'm like, ooh. So I got it up the path, and then I turned around and came back, and I'm like, okay, I did it. We did a little ride, and then I just rode home. Just had a nice ride, good time. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the Ibex. What do you think? What's your take on it? You both got to ride it.
Well, this is the second time I've ridden one. I rode one at Laguna Seca a couple of months ago when we were down there for Moto America, and it reminded me how good of a motorcycle it is. It just feels so light and so nimble and easy to ride, and the motor is just lovely. I just love the sound that it makes. And
it's a 450 twin, and
it's smooth. It doesn't vibrate. It feels. I wasn't revving it too much because new bike and all that. The controls are really, the clutch is like one of the lightest clutches I've ever used.
Yeah.
Super light clutch, so you can just like slap it and change gears that way. It's just a fun bike to ride, and it just felt comfortable. The only thing that I would comment about that I would probably change is go for the rally seat, because I felt like I was kind of sliding forward on that seat when I was just sitting on it.
Yeah, it comes with more of like a street touring seat, which is pretty comfortable. It's kind of wide.
And I can flat foot it totally.
Which is the
nice.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a low kind of touring seat.
Yeah. And I can't even flat foot my V-Strom. And that was kind of nice, actually. It's like, oh, okay. Well, feet on the ground. So, yeah, I think I would be tempted to get one myself. I really like it that much.
Now, it being a list price for $6,500, it falls into the cheap bike price range. Does it feel like a cheap bike?
Absolutely not. It feels like everything is quality. Everything felt solid. Nothing felt flimsy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one complaint. Is a very brief. It's a very minor thing.
This is just you, Neal.
No. Not that. It's that. That's another thing.
Okay.
And I talked to the CF Moto people about it when I rode the bike. Is with my polarized sunglasses.
Oh, I had the same problem.
LCD doesn't work right.
Oh. I had the same problem.
And they said
you had to put my head down to see it.
Yeah, or put it to one side. So that's something they need to address for sure.
Oh, isn't that something you can just get a screen for? Maybe.
Maybe. That's a very good question.
I mean, the easiest way is just have it just adjust a little bit, and then you can move it up.
Yeah, you change the angle slightly or somehow. But it's so that's something that I don't know if any KTMs do the same thing. So it'd be an interesting question about that.
John, what did you think?
So fit and finish is great. The bike looks good. It looks like almost like a mini Africa Twin in the livery that you have.
I was getting a lot of people looking at it when I was riding it.
It's a good-looking bike.
It's super smooth. It's easy, very easy to ride. I like it. I didn't love it, just to be honest. It didn't quite give me the feelies.
Yeah, the feelies needs to have that.
Yeah, it doesn't have that
pull. It doesn't have. No, it is a adequate.
Yes.
Adequate power.
I mean, I wouldn't call it agricultural like a KLR.
No, it's not.
No, it's very smooth.
Revvy.
It's
very
a little
smooth.
Yeah,
and that's really what my point of comparison for that bike is KLR, and they're very different experiences at the end of the day, and two different things. So I think for somebody who's looking to get into adventure riding, it's a perfect bike. It's very easy, and it's not going to get you in trouble, but it's also enough to have legs to be able to ride in different situations and
how's it compare to the KLR, John?
I would stick with the KLR.
Of course you would.
Yeah. I feel like the KLR is a little more dirt worthy.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, hold on. What electronics does a KLR have?
Nothing, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Aha.
That's a positive.
Yeah,
it's good.
Here's the thing about the Ibex, and this to me qualifies it as a legit dirt bike. You saw that one,
I saw you
one
turn
button.
on- Yeah.
One button you press and hold, and it goes into dirt mode. And that means it turns traction control off and the rear ABS off. And then when you're ready to come out of it, you just punch that button one more time, and
I
it's
think that's-
back to
that's
street
great.
mode.
I think if I was going to buy a Chinese bike, I would go for the Covey.
Well, the KLR already has traction control and ABS off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
well, the new one
yeah.
has it. The newest
Well,
gen
new
has it.
ones.
Yeah.
So here's how I compare, John. Everyone has said that the KLR is the Swiss Army knife of bikes, right?
Mhm.
Have you ever tried to use any of the tools on a Swiss Army knife?
The knife works really good.
Yeah.
I use them all the time.
The little scissors for
Yeah, the little something the
cutting
screwdriver will help you out.
cuticles and things like
I'm
that.
calling the Ibex the Gerber tool.
I don't know about that.
If KLR is a Swiss Army, this is the Gerber
So
tool.
if you had to
Yeah.
get up in the morning and go, and you're gonna start your ride across the world, you had a KLR
Mm.
and an Ibex.
Yeah.
Which one would you pick?
V-Strom.
Absolutely the Ibex.
No way.
Absolutely.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
Well, it
No.
sounds like you've got a challenge to
No way.
to throw down here.
I would take the KLR all day long.
I'll tell
Specifically
you why.
because
I'll tell you why.
no
Trip across the
electronics.
world?
No electronics.
Tell
can fix
you
it
why.
Anywhere.
I would probably be looking seriously at the new 800.
Tell you why. Because
That's not even in the choice, though.
the KLR is a single thumper.
Yes, and that's a positive.
It's not.
It's
actually.
a positive. That big flywheel, the torquiness.
It's not
Mm.
because
Yep.
I did 80 on the freeway comfortably.
I do
on
80 all
this-
day long on my KLR.
on this Ibex, and it tracks straight and rides.
I can do
smooth.
80 all day long on a KLR. Not a
Yeah,
problem.
until your arms vibrate numb.
I rode your KLR to South Dakota going
you
80
did.
all the time, and it was fine.
I have a
No, they vibrate a lot.
80
This one,
mile an hour speeding ticket on a KLR. So
No,
they
this bike,
can't go that
it
fast.
tracks straight and rides smooth at that speed, which I think says a lot.
See, but I got
Yeah.
other bikes to do that. My KLR is not
But-
my 80
but-
mile an hour bike. My KLR is my
Right, but we're talking
adventure bike.
about the
It's
multi-use
something that'll
bike at that price range between the two.
KLR is also $3,000 cheaper or $2,000 cheaper.
What's the list price on a KLR?
6 now, right around 6.
So how is that cheaper?
What is the Ibex?
$64.99
Well, it's $499 cheaper
to get traction control and ABS.
if you want it.
Everybody wants it.
No,
Yeah, they do.
not necessarily.
Yeah, they do.
I have mine turned off on my V-Strom, so I couldn't really care
You are
less about
animals.
Yeah,
So here's the thing, though. It's
it's a great. I'm not down.
a
great
really
bike.
solid bike.
It is a very solid bike.
It's got just the modern, like the display
Mm-hmm.
that, as I said, you can turn off and on the controls. I can change the look of the display. I can change what things it's posting.
Mm-hmm.
I can turn like the shift sensor or the shift light off or on. Like there's a lot of choices. It's Bluetooth, so I can connect my phone end of my headset to it.
Can you do CarPlay?
Kind of. So it
Yeah.
was showing me the music on my phone, and I could do volume and skip
Can you
from the controls on the handlebars.
Can you do a map display with it?
No, it doesn't have a map.
No, I mean if you use CarPlay, then you use
I don't
GPS
know.
on your phone.
I don't know. No. The display will just have the no, it just has a little thing that's showing me like the music. But I mean, no, it doesn't have a map.
Yeah,
However,
but
it has electronics. And
if it has a USB connection, it might be.
so
able
it
to-
does have
one,
a
yeah.
USB connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm liking it. Oh, external spokes, John.
Yeah, so you can ride tubeless tires, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
tubeless tires.
That's a plus.
That's a plus, right?
Yeah,
there.
that's a plus.
Um,
To be honest, it's easier to ride than a KLR for sure. So I would not
it's
hesitate to
lower seat
recommend that
height.
bike for a lot of people.
Yeah, and
So-
what's how many miles can you get on a tank on a KLR?
Oh, it's a shit ton. It's a 4.5 gallon tank.
So this one, gas gauge.
I
KLR
used,
doesn't
I used
have
to
that.
get
Yeah, I
300
don't need
plus out of mine when I had. one.
The KLR.
Yeah.
Oh well, this has a range of about 230 on a full tank,
Yeah,
so
KLR's
it's-
it's a super tanker. It's got a huge gas tank,
which is not necessarily good for off road. Just saying.
or it's really great for off road if you're out in the desert.
Yeah, if
come
you're out in the middle of
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
BFE, yeah.
We get to continue doing some side by sides and testing.
So it'll be interesting to see how that bike behaves two up.
Well,
Yeah.
I rode 6 hours to up, 5 hours to up
Right.
already.
And what was your take on
I
that?
did 80 miles an hour comfortably.
With two people.
2 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good bike for Ireland.
Yeah. I would be comfortable doing some distance on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would. Good bike. So, and if I didn't say, I got it from Del Ammo Motorsports in Redondo Beach. Nice people. I really liked them. And my point being, last week I was talking about how, well, the prices is so much. And then I thought, let me make an offer.
Sure, why not? It's the right market to do that in.
Why not?
True.
And they did. So here's the thing, though. It's a good bike. They're still being tested. We know Moyne has them in Pakistan.
Mhm.
He's really putting them to the pace. We know that people over in like Australia have had them already for a year and are testing them out. But the true test will be how well it lasts with high miles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have not yet seen high miles. You know who could test it and really see how good this bike is made?
We have a whole bunch of different people.
Our guest tonight
Yes.
could tell us. Pat, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, Pat, how you doing? Do you want to go by Pat, Patrick, or what was your other name? Grubby, Grimy? I can't remember.
Old man, but
Old
anything
man!
at all.
Old man Pat. Pat Cornell is here with us. And Pat, you just did something pretty amazing. In fact, we can say that you test rode a bike to see how well it could do high miles. So previously we had Chris Hopper on our show. Remember when he did 100,000 miles
Mhm.
in
Yep.
100 days? And we're like, whoa, that's crazy.
I remember that.
Do you remember what the record was before that, guys?
I don't remember.
45,000.
Well, he blew it out of the water.
Chris, do you know who did that? 45,000?
Matt Wise.
All right. Shout out to Matt. 45,000.
Hey.
And then Chris Hopper did 100,000. Well, our friend Pat here, old man, decided, well, he's going to show those young bucks a thing or two. Pat, how many miles did you decide you were going to do?
Well, I decided I was going to do 125 plus.
Plus.
So I
Wow.
rolled 125 on a charity ride for myotonic muscular dystrophy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not exactly thrilled with my fundraising goal, which I had set at 125. And on day 125, we were at 42,000. So I put a challenge out to all of the followers that for every day I got $1,000 or more in donations, I would ride another day.
That's cool.
So
Wow.
when I hit 145, we had $92,000 in donations.
Wow. So he took the last two records, put them together and said, look at this, guys. You are not a young buck. You go by old man. Pat, how old are you?
I'm 60 years old. I'll be 61 in November.
You have not learned your lesson yet,
No.
have you?
November children rule. I'll be
I-
66 come November. So I got a couple of years on you, but well done.
Dude,
I have a 60-year swing. So when I'm on the bike, I feel like I'm 30. And then when I get out of bed some mornings, I feel like I'm 90.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So-
know that feel.
This was just a few weeks ago you finished, and you ended up at 146,000. Is that correct?
I did. I finished September 22nd was 145 and 145. And I finished out that day with 145, 104. And then a ride back to my friend Terry Collier's house in Oklahoma the next day was 950 miles.
Oh, goodness.
So I ended up with 146,054 when I pulled into her driveway.
We'll give
Wow.
it to you.
Well, I appreciate it.
So I know for a lot of us who talk with, like Chris here or like Wendy, and we think they're kind of crazy
Mhm.
because, I got my little iron butt, woohoo. Bagel's done his little iron butts and his cannonballs. But then, yeah, I know. But then you get these guys who like show us how to really do it. It's so hard to even fathom being able to an accomplishment like that, Pat. I don't think anyone's going to be trying to attempt that for a long time.
So what bike did you ride?
It was a 2025 Indian Pursuit with a brand new 112 Power Plus motor.
Okay.
And how did it do? How was that test ride?
It did very well. So I had a couple issues with some fuel pumps, and we initially thought it was a design issue. And then after further examination, the fuel filter on the fuel pump obviously is designed to filter out particulates.
Mm-hmm.
The new ethanol gas that we're all using has this wax configuration to it that builds up in the piping and builds up in the pumps. And when you pump your gas, it gets into your tank. And the idea behind the filter, it's going to trap the particulates of the wax, but when it sits in the gas, it will dissolve back into the solvent. When you're putting 40 gallons a day, every day through the filter,
right,
what's time for it to dissolve back into the fuel.
Wow. Interesting. I had no idea that so is this meant to inhibit corrosion? Is that why the wax is in there?
Well, it's just something within the ethanol. I don't know what the ethanol gas or how it ends up with the waxy buildup. That, small engines, they say run non-ethanol gas because if you let it sit for a couple of months, a log splitter or a rototill or something like that without using it, it will form wax in the carburetors, and the carburetors will have to be torn apart and cleaned.
Boat gas, that's what you want.
So, yeah, you want like real gas, but you can't get that on the road. And if you can, it's not inexpensive.
Yeah.
So you did 145 days straight. When did you make time for maintenance and for fixing fuel pumps and things like that?
So that was the logistics that we worked out before the ride. My initial service, we tried where I rode 500 miles, rode in to get service, and then rode out and finished 500 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem we had with that was I'm sitting there looking at my watch, tapping my foot, going, come on, guys. And I've got two mechanics on the bike trying to turn wrenches as fast as they can. And as we all know, when you get under pressure, sometimes things don't always go right. So you drop a wrench, you grab the wrong socket. I mean, whatever it was pressure. So the next service, I rolled in at 2:30 in the afternoon with 1,000 miles done for the day.
Oh, wow.
I dropped the bike off and I went to bed.
So how many hours a day were you riding?
Yeah.
Or maybe just walk us through a typical day.
Right.
So I have different typical days. So my first 72 days were IBA certified saddle sores.
Okay.
I would typically start between midnight and 1 in the morning.
Huh.
And I would ride 14 to 16 hours. I would get some dinner. I would go to bed. I would get up and I would midnight, 1 o'clock, do it again. So when I needed service, I would roll in.
Is that because you needed to do it within the same day?
Yeah, 1,000 miles within 24 hours to get a certified IBA saddle
But
sore.
the 24 hours could start at any time of the day.
It can, but when you're doing consecutive days, so my days actually ran from 6:38 a.m. to 6:38 a.m.
Yeah.
Because 6:38 is when I started my first day.
So
I my first day done, but it was easier for me to, instead of trying to do 6:38 to 6:38, it was just easier in my brain to go midnight to midnight.
I'll tell you my experience, and you guys who are more experienced long distance riders, but I found that when you start in the middle of the night, you get that second wind when the sun comes up. And
Absolutely.
it's like it gives you that extra boost to keep going.
Every day, that sun coming up is absolutely a second win.
Yeah, exactly. And so it makes total sense to me to do that. So let's talk about your route. How many countries did you visit?
1.
So this is also the new record for the longest distance within one country.
Yes, the longest continuous ride within one country on a motorcycle by a male.
Oh, really? They split it up into male and female now.
They did. So Miss Dana Darcy had beaten the previous record, which was like 84,000 something.
Danielle Lynn, who was a friend, who was on our show.
And Dana rode an average of 667 miles a day for 4 months.
Oh, okay.
And came up, I believe, like 86,000 miles. And then when a gentleman in India had spent 3 years on the road, he beat her record with 87,050.5 miles.
In 3 years.
In 3 years.
But it's continuous. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not by a time frame. It's continuous.
Right. The longer you're away from home riding your motorcycle.
Yeah. So, you've got all those records now. So
when Dana split it at that point and made it male and female.
Interesting.
Which is, Dana's a friend of mine, and I would really hate taking the record away from her.
Right. So let's talk about you got to do 1,000 miles every day. So are you just going back and forth?
Back up and down, round and round. I did have my sister made a map for me. So I had done the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Have friends all over the country. And anybody that said, hey, I got a place for you to stay, well, we put them on a map. So if I stayed with Keith on Monday night, before I went to bed, I would look at the map and I'd go, oh, okay. Well, Larry, he's 1,028 miles away. Hey, Larry, can I come to you tomorrow?
So
yeah, sure.
You didn't plan this out in advance, Bagel. This must be killing you to hear this. do you just kind of wing it every day and let's see what tomorrow holds?
I mean, occasionally I would have 2 days planned or 3 days planned if I was going for service, if I was in Arizona.
Wow. Well, because Bagel, who also does some long distance scootering, not only will he'll figure out all of his gas stops, he'll schedule in time, in advance when he's going to tie his shoe. He thinks of every detail. So,
I'll figure out, where's a good place to stop for food, figure out what I want to order. So that way I've got it all ready to go. And I can just, boom, get in there, get a bite to eat, get gassed up and go on my way.
Any Love's truck stop for a roller dog is a good place to stop for food.
So I'm going to ask you a question that you told me not to ask, but I'm giving you permission to make up an answer. You will not be held to this. How many sets of tires did you go through? Oh, he's freezing up.
Average.
Yeah, averaged?
80.
80? Oh, did you say 80?
I averaged 8 fronts.
8 fronts.
Oh.
So I averaged 50,000 on back. I would be 20,000 per front too. That was in for the wonderful Department of Transportation. Their selective placement of potholes.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Pat, you're breaking up a bit. Can you try turning your video off? And if we go to just audio, it might help. Oh, and he's gone. He's going to come back. So he's saying 8. Chris, does that sound about right? How many miles for this kind of riding should you be getting?
Oh, I usually get 20,000 miles out of a front tire on all my bikes.
Okay.
So, and I know Pat did hit 2 potholes and blow out 2 tires and 2 front rims. So,
wow.
Yeah. So Pat, what I was saying, you may want to turn your camera off, and that will make it because you're breaking up a bit.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, and that will make it so that
trying
the
to see
audio
how-
can come through. You should have at the bottom of your screen a little video. Just click on the video and it should turn it off. Here you go. And that should help with the audio getting better. So, so you had a couple flats. Did you have any other crashes or events that you had to deal with besides the pumps, the gas pump?
Well, potholes blowing 2 tires. That would be kind of a scary moment.
I lost the 3 rims.
Oh.
So when I lose a rim, obviously I'm not putting that tire back on, which
Right.
is why I had more than half the amount of back tires,
Okay. Wow.
or more than half.
Did you?
And the only other issue I had was I did lose a stator,
Okay.
which initially I was upset about. I'm like, all right, now, like, all right, what else is going to go wrong? And then I'm thinking, wait a minute. I've got 3 sets of auxiliary lights on this motorcycle,
Mm.
three different sets of Denali's. I've got an auxiliary fuel tank that was designed by Tom Postel's that has a fuel pump and lights on it. I also put a Farkle bar on there that was running my tablet, my GPS, my satellite trackers, my radar detector. So I was taxing the electrical system to begin with, and I didn't lose the stator until 106,000 miles.
Wow.
That's pretty
Now,
saying something.
I've had motorcycles running a headlight and tail light, and I've lost the stator at 40. So
Yeah.
initially I was upset because, okay, here I am. I'm going to be down again. I'm going to get behind on miles. I'm going to have to catch up on miles again. And I'm going, wait, what am I upset about? 106,000 miles. That's great. So
did you plan ahead? Like, how many parts did you have on order and ready for you?
0.
What?
Wow.
So just winging it again.
So you could just go into any Indian dealership and get a rim?
My first one happened in New Orleans. Well, just I was by Baton Rouge. Happened at 4:20 in the morning on a Saturday morning.
Ooh.
I finally, after 3 attempts at a tow truck, because this was still in May, so nobody even knew I was on the road yet.
Right.
Because I did 30 days because I'm old, and if something hurt, like if I was crippled after 2 or 3 weeks, and I couldn't do this, and I decided to bail, there was only 8 or 10 people that knew I was on the road. So I only had to eat a little bit of crow. If I announced it on Facebook and had to bail, I'd have to eat the whole flock, and I don't like crow that much.
That's funny.
So 3 weeks in, I lost my first rim in Louisiana. It took, with AAA and their wonderful tow companies, it wasn't until either the 3rd or 4th tow company that somebody actually showed up.
Wow.
They got me to the dealership at 10:01 in the morning, and at 10:53, I was rolling out of the dealership. And the dealership said to me, I've got some good news and some bad news. I said, well, what's the bad news? And they said, the rim that we had for your bike doesn't fit. So they had a rim from a 24, but the speed sensor position or the bearing cover or both had changed for 25. I said, well, what's the good news? He said, well, the mechanic's over there in the showroom pulling a front tire off a Pursuit for you.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Do you remember the name of this dealership so we can give them a shout out?
Indian Motorcycle of New Orleans, Louisiana.
There you go.
Sweet.
Good shout out. So, wow, you didn't even plan to have parts. Because I know, like, when Wendy does her trip, she's got things stockpiled, just ready to go. But then she also doesn't have very good luck. Well, Ian doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
What with blowing transmissions and such.
yeah, I know. But it sounds like the bike did great. I'm curious, what do you do to set up the bike for comfort for you? What are the modifications you make straight away?
So on the Indian Pursuit, because it has so much real estate, I need to put extended brackets on the highway pegs, so I can roll them back towards the bike so I can reach them. I mean, I have a 33-inch inseam, and I have to roll back from the engine guards, or I can't reach them. So there's plenty of real estate on the bike. With that being said, the handlebars needed to come back a little bit as well. So I put on their extended reach bars, which brings it back an extra 2 inches, which gives me a better reach. I'm not stretching to reach it, relieves the strain on my lower back, and a wild ass seat cushion. So if you're going to ride any distance, call Craig, get a wild ass, put it on your bike. You will not be upset.
Nice. So back in 2019, when I did the Women Riders World Relay, Indian gave us some bikes, and I believe I was on a Chief then. It looks like the Challenger has kind of replaced that, I believe.
No, there's still a
but
the Challenger,
the full bagger.
Challenger is, so the Challenger and Pursuit are fixed fairings. The Chieftain is not.
Okay, then I rode the Challenger.
Okay.
Lovely bike, really comfortable, and I loved heated grips. It came with, I think, heated seat. Does yours have all those accessories?
No, I did not have a heated seat. I did have the Power Plus audio with the front rear speakers.
Yes.
Although I'm not a big music guy. I mean, as long as I can hear noise and it sounds semi-familiar to like music, I'm okay with that. So I turned the back speakers off. I just had it in the front, and I was able to listen to my music just fine through the speakers.
I found it to be just very comfortable riding position, and I put many, many miles on that thing across country. Really liked it, but it handled well too.
It handles really well. It's got a low center of gravity, and the battery is down low underneath the radiator. I had my auxiliary tank put on, which was a smart tail dragger, so it mounted on a hitch close to the back fender. So, and if you the bike, you saw this big, massive Pelican box up top.
Okay.
But the design of a Pelican box and that rack, when my Pelican box was filled with all of my essentials, it only weighed 10 pounds more than an Indian stock trunk empty.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
the only issue I had with the big box was crosswinds, because it's like a sail.
Yes.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I have to ask a rude question now. How many pairs of underwear did you travel with?
None.
What? Wait,
None? What, commando the whole time?
So I did the entire trip with 3 sets of base layers.
Oh, okay. So you're just changing out the base layers. No, because I was thinking about that. Because, you're wearing the outer layers every day. You're just changing out your skivvies.
You can wear them one day, flip them inside out, wear them again. So
and then you flip them over and then inside out again. You get 4 days of use. We know that from our good friend Moin Khan.
Yes.
Yes.
When it's time to switch, you just switch with the guy next to you. You get 4 more days.
Oh, there you go.
So
special spice.
So all right, not typically a discussion I would have on a podcast, but so every guy learns in 3rd grade, no matter how much shake and dance, the last 2 drops go down your pants.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for those khakis.
That's true.
Just a fact.
Yep.
So I go out and I buy the male incontinent pads.
Oh.
And I use them like women's panty liners.
Right. So that it's keeping your clothes clean.
So it's keeping my base layer cleaner.
Got it. So now this is a great tip.
So you change the pad every day, and you buy a pack of pads, $12 for 57 pads. And your base layer stays much cleaner. You can easily get 2, 3, 4 days of that. And I've done the Hoka a number of times. If I change my base layer after 5 or 6 days, that's a good run. I was able to change it.
Now, Michelle, you got excited by that information. Were you writing it down, or were you like, I already know that trick?
No, I was just writing it down for the next ride. So we can stock him up before he leaves.
There you go. Get your Depends. or
That's
or
right.
your panty liners.
And I was talking to a couple of female riders about this, and they were like, "We never thought about like a panty liner."
Yeah.
Mm.
No, that's
And
a great trick.
And it's just, it because they're designed for absorbency, it keeps your base layer cleaner longer. I mean, it still needs to get changed. You're still going to sweat, whatever. But just for the nastiness itself, you get an extra couple of days out of it. It's just less you have to carry.
Right. It goes into the pad instead of going into your base layers.
Right.
Yep.
Now, for daily riding, how often are you stopping, and do you have some sort of like a exercise or something that you do, like when you're getting gas, you have to like walk in a circle for 10 minutes or something? Is there any tricks you've created that help you stay fresh?
No, because on the Indian Pursuit, I have so much real estate that I can do all the stretching that I need to do while I'm riding down the road.
Motorcycle yoga.
There it is.
Right.
Yes, I know.
I was, motorcycle Pilates is what I was calling it. But yes, bend your right leg back, put your left leg out on the highway bar, lean towards your left leg, stretch out your calf and your hamstring.
Yes.
Yep.
That
Absolutely. Problem. Plenty of real estate to do that.
Yeah, I like that. Being able just to lean forward, lean back, doing all the things.
Initially, were a little upsetting because I wasn't typically running an aux tank. So my normal riding, I don't have the aux tank on there.
Mm-hmm.
So once I now when I stop for gas, instead of a 4-minute gas and go, now I have to get off the bike to fill the aux tank. So it still saves time because you're only slowing down and speeding up half as many times. But the fuel stop is still going to take you 7 or 8 minutes.
Now, what are you doing for meals and drinks? On the bike or off the bike?
90% on the bike.
Yes.
Wow.
What kind of meals are you doing? Did you have a microwave on there too? Maybe that's why the stator went out.
No, it was a toaster up. It was right behind the infotainment center. So typically breakfast was a couple of hard-boiled eggs, some type of, I don't know, Gatorade or a half a cup of coffee, whatever it was. And I didn't start with the coffee till probably halfway through the ride. So a couple of hard-boiled eggs. I always had water on the bike. If I was really hungry one morning, I would pick up a hummus and pretzel pack, which would just add a little more protein, fats, and carbs to the morning meal. And then 350, 400 miles later, I would stop and I would fill up the bike and maybe grab a Lunchable.
Mm.
And people think my diet requires like a cast iron stomach and, a butt plug. And it doesn't. So I have no problem going into a gas station, going into the refrigerator second and getting a prepackaged chicken breast or chicken salad sandwich.
That is risky.
10, 15, 20 years ago, I would say, yes, that was very risky. But with the way they've come now, I mean, I'm not even sure it was chicken breast I was eating. I mean, they have just pure preservatives on fake bread. But it did have some protein. It didn't taste bad. And when they package them, they fill the package with nitrogen instead of air.
Mm.
So no air in there, it's not going stale.
And it's probably been irradiated to kill all the bacteria once it's packaged too. So,
so it glows in the dark.
Great.
Yep. Pasteurized milk, it's the same thing.
So
and then Roller Dog.
Oh.
People think nuts, but Love's has absolutely the best roller dogs. I do need Roller Dogs Anonymous now that I'm off the road. I've been trying to find a meeting and I don't know where they are.
They're at the Loves.
So I continue to stop and have them.
I remember when I got my first BMW touring bike, and I marveled at the fact that the wind, those bikes are so ergonomic that the wind goes around you, and I could set a sandwich and a drink on the gas tank while on the freeway, and it would go nowhere.
Yep.
Because they're designed to make the wind go around you. And you can sit there and have your little meal. And is it like that on the Indian?
It is. So I have a tank bag on there that I always had, what I consider my emergency rations. I would have 3 or 4 Quest protein bars. I would have a couple of pickled sausages. I'd have some Slim Jims. I would have cheese and crackers or peanut butter crackers, Skittles, Twizzlers, beef jerky.
So
That stuff.
the diet of a 9-year-old.
Yeah, if he's having a good day, it was definitely not a 9-year-old diet. If my mom and dad weren't watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would stop and get a sandwich. I'd eat half the sandwich while I'm pumping gas, put the other half on my tank, and if I had and it wasn't a lot of the Gatorade, it was more of the Pediacare drinks.
Pedialyte, yeah.
Yeah. So and I would get one of those, and I would just set that down, either in front of or behind the tank. The tank bag didn't matter. I'd just roll down the road.
So, and what are you doing to keep your mind occupied the whole time?
Well, you see, if you don't have a mind, you don't have to worry. And I've told everybody that a ride like this was mind over matter, and since I don't have a mind, it didn't matter.
Right.
So I did a lot of what's around me, what's behind me, where am I going, what am I doing, and I had my tablet up where I had my navigation, but it was a constant. I mean, when you're out there, you all ride. I'm pretty confident in my riding. I am not confident in the car or the truck next to me. So it is a constant battle of, what do I think that guy or that girl or that truck or, what's going to happen? I mean, I witnessed 2 rollover accidents while I was on the road.
Wow.
I watched a pickup truck coming at me with a love seat in the back with a heavy crosswind. And luckily the crosswind was coming from my right and he was coming at me on my left, and a gust of wind came and blew me to the center line, and I watched the love seat launch off the truck.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
My initial thoughts were, well, he should have strapped that in better.
Yeah.
And then my next thought was, wow, he had that strapped in really good because the bed's in the field with it.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So it took the bed right off this,
Oh, wow.
whatever it was, Ford Ranger, Chevy S10, some little pickup. Had to be rusted out, but it took the bed right off the truck.
Wow. Well, I was going to ask you then, there had to have been some hard times. What were some of the struggles that you dealt with, and how did you deal with them?
So the first struggle I had was the morning of day 73 when I broke my second rim. So I was coming north on Interstate 85 out of Georgia into South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I was right by exit 13, and I came around the bend in the highway, and they had southbound construction that completely washed out the road and blinded me as the oncoming traffic. And I hit a pothole. The Indian does have TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring. I noticed my front tire pressure going down, and I made it to the shoulder of the road before I went into a wobble, before anything. I got over to the side of the road, and that's when it was reading 0. And now, instead of being scared now I'm pissed. So the first thing I did was call the cops, because I am going to have a report on this, because I am going to go after the construction company, because it is their fault that I am now slowed down on my quest for 1,000-mile days once again. So the cops came, filled out the report, called the tow truck. The tow truck shows up, and I had already reached out to another rider I knew in North Carolina. I put a post up on Facebook, and Bill Lance reached out to me. So Bill Lance grabbed his truck and trailer at 3:00 in the morning and headed south from North Carolina to meet me at the dealership in Greer, South Carolina. In the event they could not fix the bike, we could load it up on the trailer and take it somewhere else and get it fixed so I could get my miles. The tow truck shows up. He goes, well, I can't take you all the way there. That's 40 miles away. I'm 40 miles. I said, what's it, 400 miles? I said, I'm paying you by the mile. What's the difference? He's like, no, 40 miles is too far. I can take you to the yard. I went, not unless you have a tire and rim for this bike, you can't. Well, no, I don't have that. I said, well, you can either take me to the dealer or you can leave empty. And he got in his truck and left.
No, no.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It's lame.
So I called Bill and said, hey, Bill, I said, instead of going to Greer, I said, can you redirect and come down here between exit 13 and 14 on the interstate? We'll put the bike on the trailer and we'll take it ourselves. Not a problem. Bill was, I'll be there in X amount of minutes. So Bill showed up. I'm old school, so I have flares on the bike. So I had to flare out on the line because here I am on a black bike in the middle of the night, no street light. So Bill pulls up. He gets on the shoulder. He gets out of his truck. He's got his four-ways on. He goes to open up the tailgate. I throw a leg over the bike so I could start it up and get it on the trailer. I took my helmet off my mirror. I put my helmet on because you need some place to set it. I can't hold it in my lap. And I went to put my kickstand up. And if you've ever had a flat tire, you know that when one tire is flat, you have to lean the bike a little further than the kickstand up. So just as I leaned it to get the kickstand up, a tractor trailer went by so fast and so furious that the wind gust blew me and the bike over.
Wow.
The bike went to the full sleek position on the shoulder. Off the shoulder, the ground dropped down to a drainage ditch about 20 feet down the hill.
Oh, goodness.
So I hit the ground about 2.5 feet lower. I broke my collarbone.
Oh,
no.
Tore my rotator cuff, and I cracked the rib.
Oh.
This is at 78,000?
This was, I had 72,000. Well, I had like 73. It was day 70. I was 104 to day 73.
Halfway through the trip.
Wow.
Okay, wait. So broken bits on you. How was the bike?
I folded in the highway peg.
Okay. So did you know that you broke your collarbone?
So did I know? No. Did I think I did? Yes, because as soon as I went to get up, I looked at Bill and said, Bill, I think I broke my effing collarbone. And I crawled up the hill to the bike and I was dizzy and nauseous. And I tried to stand up and I made it to the back of the trailer about 10 feet away and had to kneel down because I was dizzy and nauseous.
Hey, Pat, can I give you some unsolicited advice? It's way too late to help. It's called tuck and roll, man. Tuck and roll.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was happening. It was just wind slam. That was like I got body slam.
It's like high siding.
Yeah.
And so I made it to the front of the trailer, and Bill says, "Do you want me to call 911?" I went, "Yeah, probably be a good idea." So he came back. I had my jacket off, and I'm laying in the trailer using my jacket and a strap across there as a pillow. And the nauseousness finally went away, and the crazy pain went away. And I said, "Bill, do me a favor." I said, "Pull the kidney belt out of my riding jacket." So I have climb gear. It's got a built-in kidney belt in it. I said, "Pull the kidney belt out." And we made a makeshift sling out of it to hold my arm bent, my shoulder in place up against my body so it wouldn't move because it hurt to move. And I got off the trailer and him and I stood the bike up.
Wow. Is this right or left side? This would be your right side?
My right.
Okay.
So we stood the bike up. Bill got on, rode it up onto the trailer. I go up on the trailer. He put the kickstand down, but we're on the shoulder of a road. So now the trailer's cocked to the right a little bit. Bike's cocked to the right. So now the bike wants to fall over. So I'm leaning into the bike, picking it up. And he's getting a strap on it. And the ambulance shows up. And I said, "Okay, who's the patient?" I said, "I am. Are you ready to go?" "Well, we got to strap the bike on first. So can you reach in that black bag and give me a strap?" And the EMTs were handing us the straps that we needed to strap the bike down so I could get off the trailer and get in the ambulance and go to the hospital.
Okay, then what happened?
Yeah.
They told me I had a broken collarbone,
Yeah.
a torn rotator cuff. It was 2 days later they told me I had the cracked rib.
And there's nothing they can really do for a broken collarbone unless it's
You
like a
look at my-
compound fracture.
If you look at my day 73 video,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of our most viewed videos, and it was the one I don't remember making because they had me all jacked up on morphine. But it wasn't a bad video.
Wow.
So had you already made your 1,000 miles at this point, or did you still need to do more miles that day?
I had 104 miles that day.
Oh, so what'd you do? You got back on?
No, that was the end. That was the end of the 1,000-mile consecutive days.
Got it. Now you have more time to do over or under, and as
Right,
long as
so
it
now-
averages out.
Now there was a little more leniency in now. Once I get back on the road, now I have to do an average of 1,000 miles a day.
Got it. Wow.
The problem being that this happened on day 73, which was Saturday. So Sunday was 74, Monday 75, Tuesday 76, Wednesday day 77. The rim and tire came in and were put on the bike. And I went out and I did a 100-mile test drive Wednesday night.
So you had how many days to heal?
And Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Like 4
Wow.
days.
4 days to
Wednesday.
heal. That's all you need. At your age, you come back.
Yeah, you
Well,
come back.
Darn it, you're fine.
You'll be fine. It's just a scratch.
That's right. 'Tis a mere flesh wound. Come back.
Blew your arms off.
So so when you were ready to get back on the bike, did you start doing long miles or did you work your way up?
So my requirement was I had to be able to get both hands on the handlebar unassisted by the other hand and go full lock right and left without dying in pain.
Mm.
Able to do that. I did 100 miles on Wednesday because it was already 5 o'clock at night. And I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow's my day. So I went back and I got some sleep and I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I started banging out 1,000+ mile days because here it is. It's now day 79. I've got 21 days in order to match Chris Hopper at 100,000 in 100 days.
Right.
3,400 miles behind the 8 ball. So I had to do a minimum of 1,180 miles a day. So they throw you on the ground, they break you, they bust you up, and they go, good luck. Now ride more miles.
Yeah. So,
But I honestly feel as though, so the ride, in my opinion, the ride had to be blessed from the start. So yes, the mishap was unfortunate for me. But there was a reason that I was taken off the road. I don't know what it was. I may never know what it was. But the simple fact that I was still able to hit my 100,000 and 100-day mark, I was still able to hit my 125 and 125, and I still hit 145 and 145. So something took me off the road for a reason, but still allowed me to reach my goals.
how does your collarbone feel today?
Yeah, I'm still broken.
Oh,
Ouch.
So it hasn't set yet?
I went to the doctor last week, and he checked it out. He goes, well, when it broke, it was slightly displaced, and now it feels as though it's more displaced and crooked. So I'm going to send you for a CT with a dye injection in the rotator cuff so we can see how bad it's leaking out of your rotator cuff and how bad the collarbone is. So when we do surgery on your collarbone, maybe we can do the rotator cuff at the same time.
That would be good. Yeah.
I just have to ask, is it worth it?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. Well, I think too, because you were raising money, you were doing this for a charity.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the charity?
I can. So So I had 3 goals to this ride. One was get home in one piece.
Good
And I
goal.
did that. Pretty happy. My second goal was to raise awareness for myotonic muscular dystrophy. We were viewed, well, we had followers in 13 different countries. We had well over 500,000 different accounts viewing different videos around the world. Some of the videos that I had done with Adam Sandoval were viewed in excess of 9 million times. So the awareness did very well. My third goal was fundraising. And if you're going to set out to do 125,000 in 125 days on Indian's 125th year on a 2025 motorcycle, naturally the goal has to be $125,000. So we are currently sitting at about 95,000. So I'm still 30,000 short on my fundraising. And I have put this out there, I don't know how many times. If everybody that saw a video would donate $1, I could reach my fundraising goal in a day.
Now, why did you choose this charity?
So myotonic dystrophy affects my wife's whole family, amongst others, obviously. So my wife's grandfather, her mother, her 4 sisters, but not her, does not have it. Her 4 sisters have it. 1 sister passed from it already. Nieces, nephews, cousins, aunts, uncles, they all have it.
So this is something that is dear to you and your family.
It is. So they had a team. Mom and dad were farmers, and they had a team called Farmers' Daughters, and they do fundraising walks in the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. And the wonderful world of COVID shut down the walks because how could you possibly social distance while walking around a park? That's impossible. So they shut down the walks. And we tried to come up with another, how do we do fundraising for myotonic dystrophy? Well, I like riding motorcycles, but I don't like dealing with people enough to like do a poker run and deal with all the clicks and who's going to get drunk and the risks of everybody being out on the road that I don't know even if they can ride a motorcycle. So for me, trying to do something like that was stressful thinking about it. But after watching Chris Hopper do 100,000 in 100 days, and I know Chris, and thought that was a great ride.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
And I was like, okay, well, bet I could do 125.
Right.
And we started playing it.
Yeah, he made it look easy. I don't remember him having any like really big hurdles or anything. I mean,
no, we all hit some mental blocks.
Yeah.
Some for, days or a week, some not, and it doesn't have to be, 100,000 or 125,000 or even 50,000. I mean, you'll get people that go out and they're going to do a 30-day ride around the country, and they'll get 15 or 20 days into it, and they're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And I'm 1,000 miles from home.
So did you have that thought, when you broke your collarbone or at any other point?
No, not when I broke my collarbone, just because of the way it happened. I was like, there's no way. I mean, that's a crappy ending. I mean, I'm on the shoulder of the road and I get blown over by a tractor trailer while the bike's turned off. Like, come on. If it was, I hit a pothole, I lost the air, I went into a death wobble, I barely made it over to the shoulder. It was a soft shoulder. The shoulder gave way and we tumbled down the hill and I got busted up. A, that would be a little more believable. And B, it wouldn't be such a horrible ending. But that isn't what happened. And I'm like, there's no way I can end. I have to end the ride on my terms, so I'm going to at least try it.
So it actually motivated you and pushed you forward.
it annoyed me enough to keep me going because I don't have enough. And won't aren't in my vocabulary. I didn't have enough quit in me to quit after that.
So I'd like to talk a bit about the long distance riding community and the support that you got. I think didn't Wendy come out and ride with you for a little bit?
Wendy rode me into Sturgis. But
Yeah.
just to back up one to your previous subject for 1 minute.
Yeah.
87 was my one and only mental block.
Oh, what happened there?
So I stopped at a friend's house in Nebraska. I got some good sleep. We got up, we had breakfast, we changed the oil in the bike. I got out on the road, and it didn't matter where I went, how fast or slow I thought I was or wasn't going. I felt like I was on a treadmill. I was going nowhere fast. I rode 11 hours that day. I still covered 770 miles that day. But in my head, I went nowhere. I saw some friends earlier in the day in South Dakota. We stopped and had some ice cream, and they noticed my right arm was swollen. And that sort of put another little twist in my head. And I set out from there, and I went north up to Interstate 90, and I went west, and the big red devil in the sky reared his ugly head. And I turned around and went, well, I'm going to go east. And his twin brother came out and went, no, you're not. And I went, I'm done. And I went back to Larry and Bev's house and went, can I stay here tonight? And if you were to look at the day 88 video on our Facebook page, Room Old Man, it is all about mental attitude and positivity. And that video was made specifically for me, by me, to get my head pulled out of places it shouldn't have been and get back on track.
So now that brings us to the community. How many people came out and helped you, and how important was it that the community gave you that support?
Family and friends. Forget about the long distance riding community for a minute. Family and friends and followers and prayers and good vibes and good thoughts and support online was, tremendous. More than I could ever count. And then the long distance riding community. So I know a bunch of people that have done IBA rides. I know a number of IBR riders. I know a great number of Hoka riders. And we had a map made up with places around the country that I could stay, different people's houses. And if I needed help, I knew that a phone call away, I could get, it may be a little distance. I may only know one person in Nebraska, and I may be 3 hours away. But if I called him and he was within striking distance, he would be there. So the help that I did get on the road from the Hoka community with places to stay and showers and laundry and food and, just the general support in that nature was phenomenal. Definitely helped keep you motivated.
The reason I bring that up is, even though this was a solo ride, it wasn't a solo record. There was a lot of people who helped you.
Yes. Behind the scenes on the ground at base camp, if you will, was my wife, Janice, and my sister, Kathy. That was our entire team here at home doing social media, merchandising, fundraising, taking care of all that stuff. My home dealership, Indian Motorcycles of Southeastern Virginia, they were very instrumental all along with helping getting sponsored with the bike from Indian. And if I had an issue on the road and it was after hours or before hours, he would be on the phone. He's on the East Coast. So if I was on the West Coast, there's a 3-hour time difference, obviously, because we're in it. And he would get on the phone and go, hey, look, I got a guy. This is what he's doing. This is where he is. This is what he needs. So there was a lot of help phone call wise to get things established. I did the one fuel pump I needed. I was coming through the desert, heading towards the Four Corners Monument. and the fuel pump started acting up. The next day I was headed to Kansas City. I called Indian Motorcycles in Kansas City and they went, "We don't have that pump. But here's who does." And one of them that did was Pikes Peak in Colorado. Wasn't on my route. I called them up and I said, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. I need a fuel pump." "Well, how do you know you need a fuel pump?" I explained to them what the deal was. "Okay. So when can you be here?" I went, "What time do you open?" He says, "We open at 9:00. I said, "Well, I'll be there by 8:30. He goes, "Well, we can come in at 8:00 if that helps you." I went, "Okay, I'll see you at 7:30. And,
Wow.
and I got up in the morning and I rode to Pikes Peak. So Indian Motorcycles of Pikes Peak cleared their schedule that morning.
Nice.
They took the fuel pump. They changed the oil. They had me out of there in 3 hours. And I was on the road.
Now, I'm curious, did Indian sponsor you or did you buy this motorcycle?
Indian Motorcycles supplied the bike.
Good for them. Yeah, they're good like that.
Cool.
I know when I had mine, and we went to the headquarters in Idaho, and I'm like, yeah, I think my tire is getting worn. I need a new tire. They wheeled out a new bike.
Oh,
She
wow.
gave me a new bike. I know they're very good like that. So just curious, the bike now is it still got plenty of life in it? Or what happens to the bike now?
The bike runs great. So we just had my end of ride celebration in Florida yesterday. So we did leave so I arrived home with the bike on day 148, I guess it was. So 2 days after I finished, I left out of Oklahoma. 2 days I showed up at home. Ended the longest continuous ride in one country with, I don't know, 147,800 miles or something. Spent the night at home. My wife that was Thursday. On Wednesday, my wife had fallen down and thought she had sprained her ankles and like bruised her elbow.
Oh no.
Ouch.
So I got home on Thursday. We had a little get together and she was limping around a little bit. And then Friday it was, do you need me to take you? Because I'm getting ready to head up to the Bagel race in New Jersey for Saturday and Sunday.
Wait, you're racing?
Nope. I was going up to do a victory lap and
Nice.
kiss babies and shake hands. So she was like, "No, I'll be fine. It's going to get better. Go to the race." So I left out Friday morning. I rode it up to New Jersey. I was there all day Saturday, rode 80 miles to a friend's house, stayed there, went back on Sunday. Saturday, my wife went to the doctor. Our daughter took her to the emergency room to find out that she broke the fibula at her left ankle, bone just above her left elbow. So she's in a sling and a boot. So on Sunday, I cut my day short and I rode back home from the Bagel race on Sunday. Stayed home. We were home. I was home for a whole week, which was a lot. And then we put the bike in a trailer. We hooked it to the RV and we headed down to Florida for the end of the ride celebration. And I brought the bike because on Thursday morning, I got up and I rode it up to Chattanooga, Tennessee for the Indian Motorcycles Jack Daniels event. I was there Thursday night. I left out Friday morning. I rode it back down here to Florida.
Wow.
So the bike still runs great. It starts right up. I have no issues. I mean, is it due for some more service? Yes. Is the neck bearing, can I feel a little click at center line on it? Yes. But when I had it changed the last time, it was at 68,000 miles. And now I'm at 150,400 miles. So it's starting to wear. So it's going, and it's not loose. It's not dangerous. But if you know the bike well enough, you can feel a little click in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's time to change the neck bearings.
So here's a question, and Chris and Michelle, since you're from the long distance riding community, I'd like to get your answer as well. I know that I believe Guinness and IBA both find that there are limits, and they put caps on records saying we're not going to try and beat this because we're just getting into dangerous territory now and encouraging people to take risks. Do you guys think that this should be capped? Like no one can beat this?
No.
I don't feel so. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pat. You answer first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, listen. Anytime you're out there on the road on a motorcycle, it's dangerous, and the more exposure you have on the road, the more dangerous it gets. So it doesn't matter if you're out there doing 100 miles a day or 1,000 miles a day. If you're out there every day, the risk grows exponentially every day you're out there. So do I think 146,000 miles and 140 is an unbeatable record? No, I don't. To be honest with you, I am hoping that somebody does go out there and hits 146,000 miles while I'm still riding so I can go out and ride with them, because I don't want to die being the only old man dumb enough to drive that far that fast.
Michelle,
Yeah.
you should go for it so you can have both the men's and the women's record.
She doesn't ride.
Well then, Chris, you'll
I'm
just...
right, Pillion. I drive. I prefer to drive. Now I drive that much.
I did try and talk Wendy Crockett after she did her ride to go out and do it solo and get the solo record too.
She's got the worst luck though.
Well, no, she doesn't. Her bike was fine.
I know.
Just, the look I got from her was like, okay, I won't ever ask her that question again.
And we're not going to talk Chris into it because 146, I can handle the 3 weeks. I can handle the 4 weeks. But 146 days?
Unless
you can work it out that I'm like on an all expenses paid cruise for 146 days. So I don't really care.
Well, and actually, I hadn't told any. I don't even know if I told Michelle this, but yeah, I'm looking at retiring in the near future, and that was one of the things in the back of my mind was, you know, maybe I will go for Chris Hopper's record because it's, you know, it's 100 days. You know, it's a summer, and you know, then when I heard Pat, and the interesting thought, I don't know if you're aware, Lisa and everybody else is, Liza and everybody else, Pat wasn't the only one out there doing a ride like this at the time. There were 2 other guys, one of them being Mr. Hopper, who started, you know, within a few weeks of Pat. So there were 2 other guys that didn't make it because of, you know, things, you know, accidents, basically. But, you know, to answer your question, you know, with the caveat that it's an experienced rider that is, you know, well established as a long distance rider and knows their limits, knows when to stop, knows when to take a break, you know, and I see Bagel's nodding his head. Bagel's done enough rides that he's probably figured that out by now.
Oh, yeah.
The riding's the easy part. It's the money. It's the time away from work. It's the time away from your family. It's the solo time when you're riding. And I don't know if you've been on the road long enough, Bagel. You know, I know Pat obviously has. But if you're riding for long periods of time, and especially if you're outside of cell coverage, you know, and you've only got your head, you know, self to talk to.
Yeah.
The stuff that goes through your mind will boggle your mind for those that have never done this.
When, especially if you've been riding all day already.
Right. Or multiple days and you're tired and whatever, and there's nobody to talk to. And that last conversation you had, you start thinking about a comment that somebody made, and you take it in directions that they never even dreamed of. And you get yourself all worked up and ticked off because you think they just called you an idiot. And they said, no, you know, all they said was you shouldn't have had Coke. You know?
But wait, let's keep something in mind. And you can ask Chris, and I've done speeches at events about being the wife of a long distance rider. Not that, you know, but I want him to do it. I want him to pursue his dreams. But what you need to keep in mind is for those who are on the road for all these days, if you are married, if you are in a relationship, if you have family at home, life keeps going while you're out in this bubble. And the person at home, and it's not a complaint in any way, shape, or form, it's just a statement of fact. I'm not going to call him to tell him, well, I got a flat tire on the highway and had to call AAA. And then I came home and the heater doesn't work, because in my mind, he's out there life and death, driving himself to his limits, on a two-wheel contraption with nothing around him and semis going by him. I don't want his mind warped.
Yeah.
That I'm home bailing the basement out. But in the same sense, I'm home bailing the damn basement out, and I'm working, and the kids are getting sick, and the dog's puking on the carpet. And, and you've got all this around, and I feel like, it's great, and I support him, and I think what Pat's done is amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to take the soapbox for a minute and say, let's give props to the person holding the house down and keeping the family together while these guys are out doing this and risking their lives, because we're home all night long on the spot tracker, making sure they're moving, they're alive, dealing with their moods when they call you because they missed a rally point or the bike sputtered or something happened, and you're like, listen, dude, you're out doing what you want to do. I'm cleaning dog stuff off the floor.
No, it's a good point. I appreciate that. And yeah, Pat, it sounds like you had good support from the community and family as well. And
yes,
that it really does.
I agree. I agree 100% with what she said. I mean, so luckily my wife is a very independent person.
Yep, you have to be.
So, she was able to hold down the fort, and she was able to, set up arrangements to come visit me. So we have a daughter up in Maine. So she flew up to Maine and we visited there for a couple of days. And we had to hey rendezvous, and she made it to Kentucky for a couple of days. We had our wedding anniversary. She flew down to Houston, Texas, and we had our anniversary dinner at my sister's. She took our other daughter and husband and the grandchildren in the RV over to Myrtle Beach, and I met them over there for a night. So she managed to do all of that while holding down the household, while still dealing with her every day. She had spine surgery a few years back, so she still has back and neck issues, some nerve damage. So taking care of all of that. Everything that we have going on with the house. I mean, we live in the middle of 10 acres. So at any point, a branch or a tree or whatever could come down. So, the stress of all that, the stress of I'm out on the road and, here it is day 73 and, and I call her from the hospital and I go to Virginia, and then day 78, I call her from the road, and she's got to be thinking, wow, this guy's really dumber than I thought he was. But she knew, as I did, we set out to do this. We set out to do a charity ride. We set out to do it for myotonic dystrophy. We know that if you have myotonic dystrophy, you can't have a bad day. You can't wake up on Monday and go, yeah, I don't think I'm not going to have myotonic dystrophy today. So they don't have a chance to walk away from that and quit. And I set out to do a certain amount of miles, raise a certain amount of awareness and a certain amount of money. And I just don't have enough quit in me to stop unless there is a definite drastic reason. I mean, if the bike was totaled, if I was in if my leg in a cast, or, something happened that I physically could not get on that motorcycle and continue, obviously it would have stopped.
Right.
Because that wasn't the case. There's just not enough quit in me or my wife. I mean, at no point did my wife go, look, you're busted up. You've done enough. Come home. Well, I mean, her sisters had voiced that opinion to her. But not once did she say, you have to come home. You're busted up. And then when our dog was having some issues and he needed surgery, and I told her, look, I will come home. I will end the longest continuous ride within one country without going home, I'll come home and help you deal with the dog, and I'll do 1,000-mile days from home. And she was like, no, I've got this. If I need you, I'll let you know. Continue doing what you're doing. Keep your head in the game, and I'll see you when you get done.
I think that's awesome. You had all the support you need, and you were able to raise funds. Tell us again how much money you raised.
So we're at $95,000.
So does that mean your people can still add to it?
They can. I am still. So my ride has stopped. The quest for raising awareness and fundraising, my work has just started with podcasts, with magazine interviews, with trying to reach out to, some of the larger celebrities that do podcasts and TV shows and news reports and mainstream media, and trying to get on that and bring awareness to myotonic dystrophy and what the ride was that was done. Because, there's still millions of people that, A, have no idea that it was done. B, they still look at, oh, there's a motorcycle rider. He must be a bad person. So I think what needs to happen with this ride is we need to shed light on the fact that there are people on motorcycles going out and doing things for other people more often than not. Just like any public sector, any private sector, whatever it is you're doing, you get one or two bad apples, and that's what people remember.
Right.
And if you have a police department and 2 cops get arrested for corruption, that department is corrupt. It doesn't matter if there's 700 people. The department's corrupt because there were 2 people.
Well, you're giving a good name to bikers on behalf of all bikers. Thank you very much, Pat. This is your opportunity to give your plugs. Where can people go to find out more? Where can they go to contribute to your fundraising?
So if they go to our Facebook page, which is Vroom with a V, Vroom Old Man.
Yeah.
We have an Instagram page as well, which is Vroom Old Man. There are donation links on both of them that will take you right to the Myotonic Foundation for donations. If they have trouble finding it there, they can message the page. They can message me personally, whatever the case may be. But yes, donations are still open. Awareness is still being spread. And if anybody wants to do any equipment purchases, we do have some discounts, and some of the sponsors for the ride. So we had Denali Lights, we had Klein Gear, obviously Indian Motorcycles, the XP3 Hornet. So we do have some stuff set up with them, and they are offering discounts to the followers. And if it is purchased through their webpage, they will make an additional donation to myotonic dystrophy.
Nice.
And that is all posted on our Facebook page.
Great. Well, we think it's great what you've done. It's superhuman for sure, but I love that you used what you're doing to make a difference in the world and raise funds and now encouraging other people to do the same. We have to start wrapping up. This is your last chance. Do you have any last plugs or thanks you want to give?
There's not enough time. There's so many people to thank. From the long distance community, from the sponsors I just mentioned, obviously my wife, my sister, my family, my friends. Everybody that was praying for the ride, putting out good vibes for the ride. This is not a ride that just, you can't just say I'm a skilled motorcycle rider. I'm going to go ride 150,000 miles. Right. Because there's too much else out there. So a ride like this, you have to be either really lucky and should be running from casino to casino, winning millions of dollars while you're doing it, or you have to be blessed in some way, shape, or form because of all of the outside entities that are against you on a ride like this.
Well, I'm glad you made it, that you made it through unscathed, and what an incredible accomplishment. So congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And for using your superpowers for good and not evil.
That's right. All good. Dun, 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 dun.
Awesome. Well, I will put a link to Vroom Old Man in the show notes if anyone would like to see some of the videos or send a message or contribute. Please feel free to. Thank you very much, Pat. I appreciate you coming on. We're going to keep on recording, so you can just close that laptop, hang up that phone, and congratulations. You did a good thing.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the time on the podcast.
No problem. Good talking to you.
Take care, Pat.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Pat.
Bye-bye.
Well, we just got a little bit of time left before we get to emails. I wanted to talk real quick about breaking in a bike. I'm sure, Chris, you've broken in a few bikes. This is just something.
You mean by like riding 145,000 miles?
I know, what a break.
5 days.
That's a good break in. No,
I'll do it.
Since I got the new bike, this is only my second new bike ever. I'm not really good at the following instructions and what taking it easy. And I was just curious, for the break-in, what do you guys think about break-ins? Are the modern bikes now, are they good enough that you can just go out and ride them and you don't have to worry so much about it?
I think with the main thing with breaking in the past was seating the piston rings.
Mm-hmm.
So the barrels were manufactured with cross hatching, and the idea is as you're breaking in, you're wearing down some of that cross hatching to leave shallower grooves that hold oil. With most modern engines, and we'd have to check on what CF Moto does, but since they manufacture for KTM, I'm sure they're like Nikasil plated bores, which are already micro finished. So there isn't such a need to do that ring break-in period anymore, right? So valve guides, valve seats wear in some, but again, with modern manufacturing and controls, it's less of an issue. So the main thing, to my mind, in terms of the engine itself, is wear hardening the gears.
Okay.
So that means, not staying in any one gear for too long, going up and going down. And the wear hardening hardens the faces of the gears as they rub against each other and work.
Oh.
And I think that's still a thing and something that I remember reading about when I bought my car 15 years ago. It's like, okay, don't drive it at any one speed. You have to shift the gears as a manual transmission car. And that applies for any kind of gear type transmission, manual transmission.
Because I would find myself on the freeway just, cruising at like 75 or 80. And then I go like, oh, break-in period, slow down to 65. I'm like, is it really make a difference? Bagel?
Well, for modern vehicles, it's not as crucial as it is for vintage vehicles, because back in the day, tolerances were very different than they are these days.
Yeah.
And there were a lot more problems with heat concentration in engines, where if you have a brand new engine and you push it too hard, you're going to concentrate too much heat, and that's going to cause it to seize up. With modern engines, it's not as much of an issue. But there still is, for any mechanical interface between two different surfaces, there's going to be some amount of wear over time. And that's going to include the initial wear when those parts, have to start working together for the first time and kind of get used to one another and start moving in a way that is smooth and efficient and not going to cause any sort of binding or anything like that.
It sounds like any relationship.
Well, yeah, you could apply it to that, I suppose. But
and relationships take work hardening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But there's always going to be some period of time that all these parts are going to need to kind of start working together in the right way, and the key to that really is heat cycles, because metal expands and contracts with heat, and that is just part of the natural process that an engine goes through when it's used on a normal basis. So you have to put it through those heat cycles to get the parts used to that experience, so that they will continue working that way, the way that they're intended. Another point that I wanted to mention that I think they mentioned on Cleveland Moto podcast is that the break-in oil that's put in a lot of engines, you do not want to run that any longer than you need to.
Yeah, that seems to me to be the most important part, because that's getting all those particles in it from the break-in.
Not skimp on that first service.
Exactly.
So is that usually like a 500 or 1,000 miles?
Mine said 600.
600, 750,
So 1,000 kilometers.
depending on the bike. But it's a fairly short interval, because the idea is that there's going to be little bits of metal inside the engine that don't come out during the manufacturing process that will get washed out through the oil into the filter, and will go through passages and parts of the engine, and you want to get those out of there before too long, because those will, especially the very, very fine particles, those will cause wear. But the point I was going to make about the break-in oil is that there is often a different type of oil that's put in for the break-in period from the factory that's not going to last over a long period of time. It's not designed to do that. And it will sometimes have certain properties that will help those parts kind of gently wear up against one another to work smoothly. And that oil is intended only for that purpose. So once it's done that job over those first few hundred miles, you want to get that out of there.
Yeah.
Get that oil out, that initial oil, put in proper motor oil, the type that's designed for that engine, so that way it will be able to move past that initial break-in period and move to the normal operational phase.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris, what's the word on the street amongst the long distance riders? Because you guys want to get 100, 200, 300,000 miles on your bikes.
I tend to go with what Bagel said. I think it's more important doing that first service when it's required, at the time it's required, not pushing it. I've had 2 new bikes. One was my 2006 Sportster, and I did read my owner's manual before I rode it, and I kind of once in a while remembered, I don't want to be doing it 80 miles an hour on this bike.
Yeah.
Brand new. And I made sure at 500 miles, I did that first service, or was it 500 or 1,000? I forget which. And then with my Yamaha X-Max scooter, I have to admit, I think I opened the owner's manual once, and that was to figure out how to open the seat and put gas in it. But, I just, like I said, half my first 600 miles was running down at 80 miles an hour to Annapolis and have breakfast with friends of mine. So I kind of threw the whole breakdown thing out. I did everything wrong. I rode it at 80 miles an hour on a single cylinder bike, straight through for, 180 miles. So I think most of it is just following its scheduled service, changing the fluids.
Well, there you go. A good tip. Thank you very much for sharing that. We're going to get to some quick emails. Are you guys sticking with us?
Yeah.
All right. I have an email here from Adrian. It says, hi there. Just a quick comment about pricing of bikes here in Australia.
Wait, where's the accent?
I just gave it to you. Australia.
Wow.
Did you miss that?
I did.
Most are advertised at a ride-away price that includes all costs and a year's registration. The CF Moto 450 Ibex is $99.90 Australian dollars in all states, which is approximately USD 6,500 right away. Seems you folks are getting ripped off. Keep up the great work, and every week I look forward to my Monday evening podcast fix. No, I haven't got my days mixed up. We are one day ahead in the time zone down under. See, I did it again.
It's truth, mate.
There it is.
Yep.
So, yeah, see, look, their right-away price is $6,500 US, and that's what...
Yeah, I wonder what the invoice is on that bike.
And that's what our, starting point is.
They also don't have the tariffs that we have here, too, so there's that.
Yeah.
I think they have some tariffs, but not
some.
We don't have
like we have here.
We won't go down that rabbit hole.
But hey, I got it. All right, Johnny, what you got?
All right. This one's kind of close to my heart. This is from Jason in Seattle from Six Bike Garage.
Yeah.
Hey, he's
we know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Misfits. It's been a little while since I last emailed you, so I feel compelled to shoot you an update from Seattle in my Six Bike Garage. I sold my little Harley Hummer, and so now I'm down to 10 bikes. Ha. I continue to help other people with their old bikes as I can. I recently got a pair of 72 Honda XL 250s running for an older gentleman, and I just rebuilt the ignition switch on a 73 Yamaha DT 250 for another friend. Also, I was able to get out of my comfort zone and do a little bit of off-pavement riding with the VME, Vintage Motorcycle Enthusiasts, on their Bonehead Enduro ride.
Cool.
Unfortunately, one of the things that makes me a misfit is a periodic struggle with mental health issues. Lately, I've been wrestling with some particularly dark but mercifully short bouts of depression. Frankly, depression sucks. I am sure that I'm not the only one of your listeners that deals with this shit, so I wanted to shout out to the others and remind you to take care of yourselves and check in on each other. And even though when I am in that shit and I hear you are not alone, a part of me rejects the truth. Part of me tries to cling to the lie, and negative self-talk tries to convince me that I am. If you have that part too, don't let the lies win. You are not alone.
Yeah.
I just, I struggle with depression. It's been an issue that I've dealt with a lot of my life. And so I resonate with this. I remember
who
when...
doesn't? Who rides a motorcycle?
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I remember when... I remember when I lost my house. So some of the listeners have been listening for a while. When I lost my house a few years ago, somebody called me and just basically said that phrase, "You are not alone," and that was super meaningful. So I agree with Jason. Let's reach out to each other. Let's love on each other. These are strange times, and let's keep rolling down the road, but do it with with compassion.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Jason.
And just remember, there are more rides yet to ride.
There you go.
And look forward to those.
So we have an email from Ethan Meyer up in Portland.
Hey, Ethan. We know that guy too.
Yes, we love Portland. I have folks live up there, and I really had a fun time at the One Moto show.
We're so going again, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're going to One Moto. So he starts, "What's up, dudes? Ethan from Portland here. I'll try to keep it short to 3 main bullet points." Okay, bullet point 1's kind of long here, but we'll get into it. I am a proud Ask Miss Emma level supporter, but I want to ask this here. One of the best things about being an Ask Miss Emma supporter is that before you ask, you have to clearly think about your problem. Now, she will catch you out if you don't. Like, make sure you are presenting the guru with clear, pure facts. And sometimes that really thinking is all you need to solve the puzzle. So just having Emma on the line answers a lot of problems one might ask. Brilliant! Unfortunately, not all problems I can solve. My 1986 Honda Elite 80 seems to run out of gas sporadically once the fuel tank gets down below about 0.7 of a gallon below max capacity. I can get it going again by rocking the bike or even just carving within the lane, but this is pretty disconcerting. It usually cuts out in periods of sustained full throttle, like on a 40-mile-an-hour road, but runs fine at low speeds. I've cleaned out the fuel tank OEM filter and checked for proper function of what I think is vacuum-operated valve, added a second fuel filter between the tank and the carb, and cleaned the carb multiple times. I've even cleaned out and blown out the microscopic air vent on the 40-year-old fuel cap. The bike runs great for about 50 miles until fuel gets low. Thoughts?
Hey, Bagel, what do you think the odds are it might be vacuum? I'm wondering on a bike this age if there's a crack in
that's very likely.
Intake.
Because the fuel tap on this, I believe, is vacuum operated.
Right, that's what he said.
And he's tested the fuel tap from what it sounded like, and that's working, which is great. But if the lines are not sealed, not sealing correctly, like if there's a crack in the vacuum lines, or the fitting on the carb is is loose or something, because I've seen that before, like a little brass fitting that's pressed into the carb body. Yeah. If that brass fitting comes loose, that'll be an air leak, and it won't produce enough vacuum. Yeah. Where it will produce enough for it to open up, maybe to deliver enough fuel at lower speeds, but it doesn't produce enough vacuum for it to open up all the way to provide enough fuel at high speeds.
Right. So, the rule of thumb with anything rubber that's old, it's sus.
Here's an idea.
Change it out.
Get an auxiliary tank, hook it up. What? No, listen. Go for a ride with an auxiliary tank. if it doesn't have that problem, then it is before the supply to the carburetor, meaning
you're saying just
the petcock or the vacuum. Exactly.
Hook up a separate tank to the carb.
Yep.
Okay.
Disconnect
an IV bag.
the gas tank, hook up an IV bag.
Right.
If it still happens, then it's something that's happening at the carb.
Yeah.
Inside the carb.
Or inside.
Yep.
Seems like a good way to narrow down where it's happening. But
because it could be a fuel float problem too, because if the float's not open, the float valve's not opening all the way, that's going to reveal itself at upper RPMs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it looks like he's been through that, but I think the vacuum operated.
I'm just thinking a scooter this age, rubber is going to be your enemy.
Yeah.
Anything rubber.
Definitely.
So a hose, a vacuum line, or even the intake boot.
Possibly.
Yeah. Because if you have an air leak in the intake,
yes.
Yeah.
So it's got 2 more bullet points here.
Yes. Go ahead.
That CH80 gets me all over the Portland metro area at my day job as a visiting home hospice nurse. My team lovingly calls it the hospice Honda. But behind closed doors, I like to call it the red sled of the dead.
I like that.
I'm not dead yet.
Well,
I don't want to go on the cart. And then finally, I am the cat who bought Liza's NX250 from my Central Mexico adventure ride this spring. The bike lives at my buddy's garage in Pacifica, and in a couple of weeks, I'm flying down to get the bike in order for the trip. I can't wait to visit the garage for the first time. And although I've met the majority of the modern misfits at the one show, I know you guys got rated by the Santa Cruz motorcycle community, but I'm going to dig for some luggage that I can strap on if you have any left. If not, I'm sure there's a desperate need. There's a desperate need for loitering that I can help with.
Come on down.
As always, huzzah, motherfuckers! And in the kindest, most pleasurable way, fuck Knock.
Yeah! Though Knock was really helpful today.
He was.
I was alone in the garage.
Got inundated with
young started
people.
out with like 6 people were there at opening time. And like 3 hours later, I had more show up and big projects. And when Knock showed up, I'm like, go help that dude with the clutch. I just pointed. And
that's going to happen more often. They told me they're going to have regular meet me at their cycle garage and fix stuff days.
Cool.
Well, you guys got to come earlier then.
Yeah.
I needed help today.
I was hanging pipes.
Need backup.
I got sweating solder and copper cutting and all that good stuff.
That doesn't help our problems.
All right. We got time for one more.
Welcome to my life.
And of course, I saved the best for last. Bagel, what do you have?
Yes. I have an email here from Andrew Cole.
Hey, Andrew.
He says, "Good day, Misfits. I'm working out in beautiful West Texas, helping get dinosaur juice out of the ground.
Yeah, Bagel. That doesn't sound like...
I live in Worcester, Ohio, and have a moto trip planned in November. A friend and I will be flying out to Portland, Oregon, to rent a couple BMW GS750s from MotoQuest. The plan is to ride down to Long Beach, California over 5 days. We got a discount because of the season, and yes, I'm a cheap bastard. Any suggestions on route planning when doing something like this? Never been to the West Coast and was hoping you could share some advice on traveling through a new area by motorcycle. We plan on mixing camping and hotels. Cheers and keep the shiny side up, Andrew."
I have one tip. Because here's the thing. We get people all the time who reach out like, hey, what are the good camping spots? I'm like, I don't know. I have a bed.
And
no idea.
Oregon has lots of opportunity for that. That's one thing that's great about Oregon.
But I will tell you one that I recently visited that is a hot tip for anyone traveling Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway. Between San Francisco and here, just right near like San Gregoria, there is a thing called the Pigeon Point Lighthouse.
Yes. There's a hostel there.
Well, thanks, Neal. I was getting to that.
Yeah.
It's an old lighthouse they've been restoring, and underneath it are the old buildings that were used by like lighthouse keepers or military. I don't know. Anyway, they've turned it into a hostel, and they have different units you can stay in that have like bunk beds and stuff, and a shared kitchen and bathroom. And it seems like a really cool place where you don't know who you're going to meet that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you're going to be in the middle of the coast with nothing around. Just you're out on this point with a lighthouse, and it's amazing.
Literally on the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, yes, on the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So that's I would recommend you check out the Pigeon Point hostel.
He should do a little bit of what Neal and I did last summer, is come down 101 and then kick over by the Lost Coast, go see Shelter Cove.
Yes.
Come down through Fort Bragg. There's a great campground that we stayed out in Fort, right just north of Fort Bragg. It's
McCarricker.
That's a great campground.
Yeah.
There is a place in Mendocino called the Lord's Land, which is an old hippie commune that lets you stay there. That's kind of a cool spot. But just that whole trip all the way down the coast, down through Tomales Bay and across the Golden Gate Bridge is just spectacular. You don't want to miss that ride.
Yeah. And I was going to second that the ride down the coast would definitely be the way to go. Also because in November the weather typically is not so great up here in Oregon. It tends to be a little bit milder on the coast, where inland, if you were going to go down Willamette Valley, through the Willamette Valley, not necessarily I-5, but some of the smaller roads, you could have some more severe weather and storms inland.
It snows, yeah.
Right, especially up in the elevations. Whereas on the coast, it tends to be a little bit more milder in getting into the winter months. So it will still be wet, I'm sure, no matter what. But the riding along the Oregon coast is spectacular and beautiful, even when the weather's shitty. And there's great little places to stop and get yourself some clam chowder along the way.
Yeah, so if we pick up your bikes in Portland and head west, and then go south.
Then the other hot tip I always forget to remind people: Hollister Hills, some of the best cheap camping you can do.
That's true.
Yeah,
Pruitt Ridge too.
Yeah, it's just inland from here, 45 minutes from Santa Cruz. But how much does it cost? Like $7?
It's $5 to get in, and I don't know what the camping is.
I think it's like $7 or $12 or so. Yeah. It's cheap.
Got showers and
to camp.
I think so a nice little kind of in that direction. Point Lobos is nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of great stuff.
Also, if you want to look for routes that are kind of on the beaten path, there are a couple of map companies that make motorcycle specific maps. I know of Mad Maps and Butler Maps, I think, are the other ones. And they specifically seek out roads that are like great motorcycle roads, and they map them for motorcyclists. So if you're looking for routes like that, check those out and see if they might be able to give you some ideas.
Great. Well, thank you guys very much. Thank you, Chris and Michelle, for hanging with us and being my
Sportster buddy,
long distance rider and supporter to help understand exactly how Patrick did that, because it's so hard. It's so hard. I know. Big thanks also to our Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I shipped out some more t-shirts this week. They still have them left, large and extra large, maybe 2XL. Not too late. You guys have your shirts, don't you? You both get them. Thank you so much. They're both supporters.
That's awesome.
I know. We appreciate it.
We support them too.
I know. We love you guys. But most of all, thank you everyone for sticking with us and hearing our little stories. And I like our community a lot. Thank you guys. I think it's time to get out of here. Chris, you're going to go after Neal and before Bagel, and make sure Michelle knows what to do. Okay, ready? Thanks, everyone. Time to get out of here. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
It's Neal.
Press.
And Michelle.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Cool.